In this video, I'm going to work specifically on forward with Smokey. My goal is to get him to respond to my seat. My goal is also to get him to understand that when I use the leg in the way that I would like to use it, here's my consistency, as I'm going to be different than his owner, that I want to teach Smokey to respond to my leg cues so that when I use them, he just has the idea of giving me more. It isn't even always more forward, because sometimes I'm going to want more lateral. But I want Smokey to think about giving me more effort. And where my balance is and what my intention is, over time, he will learn that when I use my leg, that's what I'm thinking about more of. Because sometimes in the future, I might use my leg to get more life upwards. If I were thinking about passage or piaffe, which I probably won't teach Smokey, but at some point, someone might use their legs just to engage his hind end more, which isn't necessarily faster. It's just more volume, more up. So you have to have in your mind as you work on this for your horse how you'd like to use your leg. And at first, we're just going to think about using both legs to mean go. And you can break it down even in your mind to say my right leg is telling the right hind to go, my left leg is telling the left hind to go. And at some point in time, when you're working on engaging more of his right hind or his left hind because one's maybe a little more pokier, or you might find that you can start to communicate with your right leg directly to that right hind. But right now, just to make it simple, and I believe in teaching the horse one thing at a time, and then to add on to that as I'm thinking about forward, and in this case, I'm going to go faster, that I'm going to pick a circle so that I'm not necessarily trying to leg yield or do lateral movements at the same time. I am going to steer him, but I believe that he'll understand the steering enough that he can focus on learning the reward, learning the go. So I'm going to think about the life that I want first, and I'm not going to quit till I get what I want. Now, if for some reason, and you're working with a horse, you have an idea of what you want, it ends up being way more than your horse can give you right then and there, just quickly change your idea of what you want and fit your horse, and then work to get that and then build on it. The real important thing is that you believe you can get what you want and that you ride your horse as if he's giving it to you already. That is, you don't think that he's not going to go, that you think that he is going to go, and you ride him as if he's going to go. So I'm going to walk on with some life, and I'm not there. I got a nice change. And you could see the expression. In fact, instead of going, he chose to pin his ears, or at least put them back. So what I want him to do is to be prepared to go, which is in his choice. And we're all prepared to do something we know is going to produce good results. When you're excited about something you're going to do, you find yourself prepared for it way in advance, like when you're going to go on vacation, you're preparing, you're buying clothes, and you have a lot of fun preparing. If you're riding your horse for a performance, you find yourself practicing all the time so that when you go to the performance, you're ready. So when the horse knows that he's going to get a reward for him going, he's going to start to prepare. So it's my job to make sure I'm giving him the right reward. Remember, it's the reward that teaches, not the energy. He tries from the energy, but he doesn't get the reward from the energy. He gets a reward from the lack of, or me releasing my leg, or that we are going together. My seat is comfortable on his back because I like the walk that I'm getting. So here he's testing me, which I would say he's testing the back of the rectangle, meaning he's slowing down. So in my mind, I know how my seat would flow forwards and nice rhythm with his gait. And when he hits the back of that, and essentially when he's trying to get my seat to match him, which he does, now I'm going to kick. I'm using my leg to get a change. And I'm getting the change, which you should always get a change. Every time you use your leg, make sure you get a change. And when I don't get a change from the light request of my leg, now I have to make sure I don't nag, because if I use my leg a little bit, or he thinks I use my leg a little bit, it really doesn't matter whether I think or not. It really matters what he thinks. And he didn't give me a try, then he's going to say to himself, well, I felt a leg, I chose not to go, and I didn't have any consequences. My consequences for not choosing to go were great. That was a good reward. So I need to make sure I can ask, that was very nice. Now I just want a bigger walk and I'm getting a trot, but that's all right. I am getting more life. So sometimes, because he's just going into a nice jog, which is very comfortable to ride, I'm going to work on getting him to trot out. So I really do appreciate, here he's erring on going into the trot. So I like that, and here he's getting a little pokey, so I'm going to ask him to move faster, and he's choosing to trot. That's just fine. His walk tends to be, I don't want to say pokey, but it is. But once he gets into the trot, he has a more willingness to go. But once he gets into the walk, he feels like he drags a little bit. And I'm going to keep working on right in that sweet spot. Just before he trots is where I want him to find his mind. I want him to place thinking about being ready to go. Being ready, just being ready in his mind. And for him, if he's not been connected to his owner here with their seat, which I'm guessing he's not been, because at the walk he tends to disconnect from me a little bit. So if I work towards riding in that spot where he's just between the walk and the trot, he's going to start paying more attention to me. And I have to make that interesting to him, and I have to make that a good place. So I am putting my awareness on him. I am thinking about that nice walk that I want. And there he got a little pokey into the walk. And I just used a little bit of leg, and he went right back into the trot. So I appreciate that. He's understanding and responding to the leg. He's just giving me a trot. So I'm going to keep working at this. And my attitude is one of appreciation. You think about that. Here's this guy feeling my leg, giving me a trot, giving me a try. I think he's got one ear on me. Yeah. So there I had a few steps right between the walk and the trot. And then he tipped into the trot. So you can see he's paying attention to me. So I'm using my leg to get a little change. There again, I had a few more steps just in the between. It is a little faster walk. So here I'm asking again. Ask for a little more. He got a little pokey. In fact, he didn't respond. So I know I'm teetering between waiting on him to give me a try and allowing him time that he doesn't, allowing him to be pokey. So that's something I'm also teetering on. Learning to be aware of that in Smokey. Is that a try? Or is he hoping I'll wait on him? So I am learning that as well. And I welcome that opportunity. So I noticed his downward transition to the walk is a few extra jog steps. That's a better walk. Let's see if I can keep it. So there, he thought about trotting, but he listened back to me. So I have to be careful not to nag him here, but to keep him here. And my seat, I have to think with some effort that he can walk out and that he will respond to my leg. I don't ever assume that he won't. I always assume that he will. Good. Yeah, so he's starting to explore and he's starting to think a little differently. So which means he's finding a different way to listen to me. And I am also probably finding a better way to communicate to him. And I notice his right ear, it keeps coming back to me. So I'm just thinking about talking to him, keeping that line open. So there he's got pokey. He wants to make sure. He's teaching me just as much as I'm teaching him. So I too am a student. And I want to make sure that I'm willing to learn something new here. I want to set this up for him so that he can find it. So that was several steps of some really nice walk. And you know what was interesting too, his neck got a little bit longer and he started to use his neck in that walk, which means he settled a little bit into it, which probably means he let go of some resistance. He'd probably been carrying a bit of resistance in that pokey walk, especially if someone's wanting him to go faster but not ever getting it. That can also create a bit of resistance. It's like hanging out with someone that always wants a little bit more from you and you're kind of wondering what it is and you get this sense of uneasiness. And a lot of times I will ride that way because I want a little bit more from my horse and then I find myself trying to make it happen. And in wanting to be a better partner with the horse, I'm trying to find ways to set it up so that he finds that walk and that I give him some time to find it, but not time to be pokey. That was a nice change. So if this is something you're working on with your horse probably has a little different personality as does you, so believe that you can get it. Remember, think about what you want, reward for the slightest try, and look to find a deeper connection with your horse through that. Learn more about your horse and yourself, and through that, find that really subtle communication. Because you know your horse wants to do it. There isn't really anything in your horse that doesn't want to do it. He's just not quite understanding what you want, and you're probably rewarding for what you don't want. So don't think about him not going, think about him going, and be exploration person. Be an explorer in this journey. So thanks for watching this video and hope you have a great day.